Are we live yet? What's up, everybody? How's it going? It is Tuesday, August 26th. Man, this month is flying by. I can't believe it's over already. So, all right, let's do this. Here's what we're going to do today.
I missed you guys. Can I just say it? I freaking missed you guys.
Been too long. Too long.
Yes.
Remember
we missed the audience also. We haven't heard from you guys. We haven't seen you guys. Nobody reaches out. Says, how you doing?
Right.
Yeah. How's your grandma?
I got a couple messages yesterday when we didn't have a show.
Did you?
People miss us.
Yeah.
I got 0. So thanks a lot, people.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Now we see how
all
it
of
goes.
your messages to Corey Connors or go to bumperlabels.net and hit message and send it to the contact form at bumperlabels.net.
Yes. All right, man. So what do we got? We got a bunch of stuff. We're talking about packaging that kills. If you don't watch this episode, the next death may be yours. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that goes into packaging. I know there's been a couple of recalls. I mean, in the last week, there's been like 5 new brands that have recalls because of mislabeled packaging.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, the newest one is was it Baby Bell? They put on their container, they put the wrong thing. Mislabeled doesn't mean it's on a label.
Did I hear label?
No, you can't call it mis-stickered.
Exactly. Because they're labeled.
All right.
August 28th is the grand opening from 11 to 1.
Nice. And where is this going to be held at? What?
Oh, you know what? If you wouldn't have cut me off, maybe you would have gotten that information.
All right. Then nobody's going to go.
No one show up to Salt Lake City at 2590 West Directors Road because you cut me off.
I'll be there.
Oh, dang it. You'll be there.
I can't be there. I was going to be there, but I can't be there.
I know. You're just trying to get your foot in the door.
Yeah. Missed the show yesterday. Had pretty drastic accident. Quick surgery. All good. Moving forward. You never notice. All right, guys. So let's kind of get. We've been out for a little bit, and I know we've talked about kind of slowing the show down. I think we'll start kind of slowing the show down a little bit, but we're going to stick to Fridays, stick to Wednesdays for sure. For Can We Solve It? I think we're going to hit Mondays as well for full recap, and then if we've got something cooking, we'll share it on a Friday. I think we'll kind of do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think and you know what? If a Tuesday or Thursday sounds fun, like if you wanted to, I don't know, if we wanted to do the show live with myself and Corey on the 28th of August, we could do that if we wanted to.
If we had time.
If we could go to Bed Bath & Beyond, maybe Home Depot. I don't know if we'll have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have a little bit of grace on ourselves because every day, friends and family, every day is a lot of packaging content.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, lucky for us today, nobody's watching. So
yes, we can talk about whatever we want to.
Absolutely. All right, man. So talk to me. How do these things happen? I know we've covered this a little bit, but
I think it's generally a communication issue, right? Someone more specifically on the line of production isn't communicating with the rest of the team. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to switch over. It's time to change out this for that. We're switching to gluten-free, whatever the case may be, and you don't tell the whole crew.
Avelio, what happened when you say this? Oh, hey, what's up, Gene?
What's up, Gene? Gene had my favorite. I just released a new episode, like 13 packaging mistakes designers have to avoid, and I love all the. I had a bunch of designers submit a bunch of their complaints, their pet peeves that they see on packaging. Gene had my favorite. I went nuts on editing Gene's clip.
Was it label related?
Dude, I thought it was. I laughed. I thought it was so funny. But go check it out. I even sent it to Gene. I'm like, dude, you gotta check this out. This is so good.
What is the story that we're talking about, though?
What is the story that we're talking about?
Basically,
the mislabel.
Yeah, but it was
which-
for Bluebell.
Okay.
Right. So Bluebell ice cream, it recalls their packaging because of a little bit of a mix-up. Their containers didn't have the information printed on it, which was for their Millennium Crunch ice cream. It contains a bunch of nuts in there.
Millennium.
And they didn't call out all the different allergens in the ice cream.
Was this because I didn't read the article? I mean, I read it. I totally read what you sent to me, Avelio.
Every word.
I did not. As it turns out, I'm preparing for a grand opening celebration on August 28th from 11 to 1 here at Label King, Salt Lake City. I said it already. I think I already said that. So
the complete issue was that some of the packages, and this goes to the same thing that we had with like the Celsius, whatever it was. Some of the packages that were marked chocolate chip cookie dough actually filled with Millennium Crunch, which does have all those different nuts inside of them. So you might get chocolate chip cookie dough and it's full of nuts, and you're allergic to nuts.
Which can cause a death.
You like nuts.
Yeah, which is really scary. I mean, so this is not a printing issue, meaning it's not like they forgot to include something, because that falls on proofing and regulatory and compliance typically. This is everything was printed correctly. They just didn't do the proper line clearance or whatever.
So how does that? All right. So how does that happen on the fill side? I don't do a lot of filling. So what happens?
Just typically there's a work instructions at various sites, so that need to be followed. You've got to get everything, especially when you're changing over from, in this case, it sounds like chocolate chip cookie dough to this one, right? Millennium Crunch. There's going to be an SOP or a it's utterly delicious. Just Millennium. I won't do that again. So normally there's going to be a standard operating procedure. You have to follow the instructions in order to clear the line, and it's incredibly important because this is in fact a life or death situation,
right?
For a lot of people, and so somebody didn't follow the directions, and then typically there's a supervisor that will come in and sign off. That person also didn't. It's actually a little bit unfortunate how often it happens that it's like, well, we just got to get this out the door. We're under a lot of pressure for Kroger to get this order fulfilled, and if we don't, they're going to cancel it. We're going to lose $1 million. So I know you're going to follow your normal thing, but just get it done. It's going to be fine. That's usually what causes the problem.
When I worked in production in Weyerhaeuser making boxes, which is where I got my nickname Corrugated, right? You ever heard that story? I haven't told you that.
No.
Well, I did. I got my nickname there.
At
every job.
Wait, your nickname was Weyerhaeuser.
Hold on. Your nickname is Corrugated?
I used to work in the box plant making corrugated boxes. And since my first name is Corey, they thought it was hilarious and they called me Corrugated.
Oh, they called you Corey Hauser. That's what it was.
Both, but Corrugated is more funny, so I stuck with that one.
Interesting. Okay, well, continue, please. Go off, King.
Every job would have an envelope, including print cards and all of the details, SBS, all the things, all the materials that a press operator would need to check against the actual sample off the press. And at least 2 people would have to sign off on the measurements, on the print, on all the details, the color matches, everything, before you would start the press.
Yes.
Yeah, but on the refill side, you'd think there'd be something similar, right?
You would think so.
There definitely is.
Chris wants to hear that story one
more
time.
Yeah, I want to get back to this, like, because
once upon a time, I was 18 years old.
Corey, like, what are you gating? I don't. It doesn't.
So,
I'm looking at this article in Packaging Digest, and it kind of goes through a bunch of the this year's had a ton of these recalls due to packaging. One of them
Really
is
has.
Peak Cocktails.
Oh, buddy.
That's where Adam got his nickname.
Sounds
Yeah, that's
right.
that's how I got my last name.
From chugging cocktails. I remember.
That was my parents, but no.
College is awesome. Yeah.
No, but like, all right. So Peak Cocktails, they're non-alcoholic beverages. From the packaging side, it was fine. It was the filling, another filling issue. They were overpressurized. When somebody went to open them, the cans would explode. So those had to be recalled.
Peak
Then
pressure.
there was Dinty Moore. This was a big one in May. They contained foreign material in the cans. Again, filling issue. Specifically, the material that was contained in the soup was pieces of wood.
Mm. Wood.
What's the problem?
But there was another one for Cargill Meats where they had like pork carnitas. And then those
It was salmon.
same thing. There was foreign materials
It was too mild.
in the pork carnitas, pieces of metal, you know, it just
Now
came with
that's-
extra iron.
Now that doesn't make any sense because most food filling places, like one of the last things they do is run it through a metal detection,
Right.
which is
Not
Very
anymore.
valuable. It's a required piece of
Or
equipment.
whatever
isn't
it was.
yeah.
I mean,
mean-
you've got one that we talked about where they put booze in the Celsius cans.
Well, obviously you can't do metal detection when you're running aluminum because that's not gonna work, right?
it?
Yeah.
But for food or like flour and stuff like that, like it gets filled.
Mhm.
And then this is why there's a lot of like stand-up pouches that will use like a EVOH as the barrier instead of a foil for the barrier, is because when it gets filled, it's going to go through metal detection, and if it has foil as the barrier, you can't detect if there's metal inside of the pouch or the whatever it is.
That's a good point.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just been a ton.
Well done, Adam.
I might have made that up. I'm not exactly sure.
It sounds realistic. So
Yeah,
we're going to
but-
believe you,
Thank you.
for today.
When you say things with confidence,
hmm
that's why they call you confidence gated, because you so confidently.
That's where I got my nickname.
Yeah,
Corey.
Corey the
Confident.
con man Connors. That's because you're a confident guy.
That was my brother's name in high school.
Oh, that sounds like a different story.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a whole thing.
We don't talk about Bruno.
No.
Bruno Connors. We don't have to have that conversation.
yeah.
No,
So, I
his
don't
name
know.
is Craig.
All right. So if you're a startup, if you're a small brand, you can't afford a recall.
It can be devastating to your company, to your brand. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of trust on your customers, right?
Absolutely. So what's the way that you can avoid some of this stuff, or what are the procedures and steps that you can put in as a small brand?
There has to be
I don't
lots of
think
checks
brands
and
can handle it
balances.
either, but
Right.
what are you gonna do?
Like ISO certification, there's lots of checks and balances. This is a very big deal to have at least oversight by several people. Did this person sign off? Did this person sign off? Did we get approval from this person? In production, these kinds of things are very necessary and valuable.
I would say find a good contract manufacturer or co-packer. Ask them for all their quality documents. Ask them for their standards, and then ask them to talk to 5 other customers to see if they've ever had any issues with that particular, even if it's a minor issue.
Yeah.
Right. You're looking for process failures, not if it's a big catastrophic issue, then you're not going to talk to those customers because they're not going to be customers anymore. They're either out of business or they've already made the move.
Right.
So if it's like, oh yeah, we had a few times where this happened, or it wasn't a big deal, but we had made a rebrand and they put old labels on and everything was fine. It just kind of messed up our rebrand a little. Look for those kinds of stories because that's going to highlight inconsistencies in their process.
Mhm.
And then go ask the contract manufacturer, the co-packer, about that. Now, if you're going to make stuff on your own, then probably bring in a consultant, especially if it's food or beverage, something that's going to be consumed, or vitamins or something like that. you absolutely have to get a consultant to come in and help you understand how to set up your own manufacturing processes. Because if you do it on your own, you're going to learn very, very, very expensive lessons, and it could put you out of business, to be honest.
Yeah, and Gene has a good point here. With these startup brands, sometimes they just grow faster than they can handle, and these processes are built to kind of deal with that growth. So even though, with best intentions, you get some of those errors that happen.
We need to get Gene on the show, I think.
Gene was on the show.
He was on the show, Corey.
Where was I? Busy.
We called him Port Norigated.
Porrigated.
Poor
Gene-negated. Yeah. No, but as I'm looking through like all the different articles on food recalls, like there's been stuff from Trader Joe's or stuff at Costco. There's like butter, there's ice cream, like all these different things. And it seems like it's happening quite a bit. And as a lot of these packaging companies are closing, a lot of these co-packers are closing, they're being like either downsized or they're being like bought up. In all those in the process of absorbing another company, a lot of the processes sometimes go by the wayside. There's miscommunication that happens. Systems don't talk to each other. So being especially
a lot of tribal knowledge gets lost.
Like you have to really pay attention to what's going on with your product, because you're responsible for that. Obviously, they make a mistake. There's lawsuits and ways for them to mitigate, but it's your brand that gets hit, not the co-packer.
Right.
I would say you need to systematize your tribal knowledge as best you can. Right. So we talk about SpecRite a lot, but that idea was like, this always lived. If you've seen their margarita pizza commercial, it's like it always lived in like this one person's office. Yeah. And it's like that person is oftentimes not motivated to systematize their information, because that's job security. So it's like, we want to download everything into a system so that we don't need you is not exactly a message.
It's like, hey, Melvin, can you tell us everything you do?
Right.
But
what would you say you do here? Right.
And I've been in a lot of printing facilities, obviously. And a lot of times it's like, oh, well, what happened with this? Because I worked for very large companies. It's like, well, why did this get out the door? It's like, well, normally it's Tom who runs the press. And Tom knows that when we mix the ink, we've got to add a little bit more of this color in. And it's like, oh, was that ever updated on the file? It's like, no, because that's just what's always happened, right? That is like this is
how we always did it, right?
Process is like, this is just how we've always done it. And so anytime you have a process, I would just say, like, for manufacturers, for contract manufacturers, co-packers, printers, whoever it is, be constantly looking at your process. And it's a delicate balance, I think, too, because sometimes you'll have these companies that buy up another company and they're like, we have the best processes, but they overburden the company that they just purchased. And then that puts that company out of business because they try to change too fast. This happened at a company. We bought a facility, WS Packaging in Rochester, New York. And it was a great facility, digital printing facility, very fast, very nimble. And we were like, here's all of our processes. Here's our system. We need to pull you on the system. And they ended up having to close the plant because it was too much change too fast. And it took away a lot of the things that made that facility really profitable and good. And so you can overburden and overprocess something, which is also bad. So it's a delicate balance, I think.
Are there concerns with the different layoffs that are happening within some of these government organizations like the FDA? There's been massive layoffs at the FDA, like 4,000 laid off or somewhere near that number, that these recalls won't be happening? Or is it that, as the number of these recalls rise, we don't like the number of the recalls, so we can...
That's a good question. How does the recall start, right? Who in the chain says, oh, recall? Is it the grocery store? Is it the consumer?
So like a brand will be doing an audit and they'll say, we didn't do this, right? There are voluntary recalls because at the end of the day, it's the brand that is going to be hurt the most. The FDA is not hurt the most if there's a recall. recall. They're not incentivized to have too many or too less recalls, right? It's just a thing that happens, right? If you're a brand and pairs of scissors are showing up in your pork tenderloin, that can put you out of business very fast. And so
people don't like that. No.
There's big giant QA departments that are going through this stuff with a fine-tooth comb all the time. And if they see an issue, they try to catch it early. They try to catch it in distribution. Like, they're the ones who are most incentivized. So I would guess that there's other problems with
if a consumer identifies an issue, they can contact the FDA.
Correct.
The FDA then can issue a recall, right? Like a level 1, level 2, blah, blah, blah.
And there are auditors from the FDA and the USDA that go out to stores, right, to check product and to make sure.
And there'll be less of, so I would say that an increase in recalls could happen because of reduction in staff in the FDA, because those audits maybe aren't taking place as often, or the USDA. But it's not like, I don't know. Maybe they could say, like, no, we're going to squash some of these problems because we don't want this to look bad. Maybe the current administration could say that. I would say it's unlikely.
I'm looking like there was a bread recall on the East Coast because there were shards of glass in the sliced bread. Like,
how does that happen?
I don't know how that happened. Yeah,
guys, real quick though, I just got this text. It's Sophia from CML Human Resources team. She noticed my impressive resume.
What?
And is going to recommend me for a position with a salary, $10,000 per month. It's flexible, remote, part-time, full-time. Daily work hours are 60 minutes.
Congratulations.
My hours are measured in minutes. Oh my gosh, hang on. I have to WhatsApp this person. Looking forward to hearing from.
Be sure to send them your social security number.
And your credit card.
Okay, at Corey Gated is going to be. You just have to be 22 years or older.
That sounds great.
And you get 15.
Barely missed a cut.
Sorry,
how can I say no to this, Sophia? If you're watching,
thank you.
Also, call me.
Yeah, hit up Corey Gated on the WhatsApp.
That's right. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. This got a little out of hand. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Can We Solve It? Yes. Brought to you by the awesome team at SmartSolve. If you're interested in soluble packaging, what is soluble packaging?
Dissolvable.
What?
Soluble.
Someone can get a shirt.